Hey love, hey love, hey love. So looky here. I decided to start the grief book first since I have my grief group tonight. And I want to share that with some of you because you may be grieving. And I used to go to grief groups years ago after my goddaughter Kiara passed. But I don't have those in person anymore. So I'm going to give you some of the book. It's from Grief Recovery Handbook, the action program for moving beyond death, divorce, and other losses. So I'm going to give you some of it. Grief is normal and natural reaction to loss of any kind. Grief is the conflicting feelings caused by the end of or change in a familiar pattern or behavior. What's meant by conflicting feelings? An example would be if you have a loved one that's been sick for a long time and they pass away. I've seen posts where people are like, they're grateful that that loved one is no longer in pain. However, there's also the feeling and pain of knowing that you'll never be able to see or touch that loved one again. So those are conflicting feelings. You have relief and also pain. While death and divorce are obvious, many other loss experiences have been identified that can produce grief. Among them are death of a pet, moving, starting school, death of a former spouse, marriage, divorce, graduation, end of addictions, major health changes, retirement, financial changes, positive or negative, holidays, legal problems, those who are empty nesters. And now you have to get to know your spouse all over again in a different aspect. Yeah. Since most of us have been socialized to attempt to resolve all issues with our intellect, grief remains a huge problem. This intellectual focus has even led to academic articles that suggest gender is an issue in grief. We're socialized differently, but our experience indicates that both of us are similarly limited when it comes to dealing with sad, painful, and negative feelings. Feelings themselves are without gender. There's no such thing as a girl sad or a boy sad, girl happy or a boy happy. Yet in modern life, moving through intense emotional pain has become such a misunderstood process that most of us have very little idea of how to respond to loss. So what does recovery mean? Recovery means feeling better. It means claiming your circumstances instead of your circumstances, claiming you and your happiness. Recovery is finding new meaning for living without the fear of being hurt again. It's being able to enjoy fond memories without having them precipitate painful feelings of regret or remorse. Recovery is acknowledging that it's perfectly all right to feel sad from time to time and to talk about those feelings no matter how those around you react. Recovery is being able to forgive others when they say or do things you know are based on their lack of knowledge about grief. Recovery is one day realizing that your ability to talk about the loss you've experienced is indeed normal and healthy. More important, recovery means acquiring the skills that we should have been taught in childhood about loss, the skills that allow us to deal with loss. Obviously, recovering from a significant emotional loss is not an easy task. Taking actions that lead to recovery will require your attention, open-mindedness, willingness, and courage. There's certain things in life, death, taxes, and loss. Very few of us know how to recover from it. Most people you see, they do self-medication. They drink, they smoke. They party. I traveled with grief because losing a relationship, especially one that was worldwide known, I was grieving. So I traveled to get away. I also did the same thing when my goddaughter, Kiara, passed away. I traveled because I didn't want to be in the city to be reminded. Most grievers attend support groups, read pamphlets, buy books. After all this, are still confronted with the fact that our entire society is ill-equipped to help them bring the grieving process to a successful conclusion. Over time, the pain of unresolved grief is cumulative, whether caused by a death, divorce, or other type of loss. Incomplete recovery can have a lifelong negative impact on a person's capacity for happiness. And I was just telling somebody about this, my joy. I've lost my joy. I have to look at old videos. Unfortunately, Facebook has deleted old videos that I have done since, I don't know, 2014. One of them I used to have pinned because it was a time when I saw my natural joy, which now I don't have. I don't know when I'll get it back, but I don't have it. Genuine desire to discover and complete the emotional pain caused by loss is recovery. It's a genuine desire. The unfinished emotions attached to a living person with whom you have a less than fulfilling relationship, that is also a part of grief, a problematic relationship. And you know what I thought about when I read that? My father. Divorce or a broken romantic relationship produces grief. I just talked about that with myself. Recognize that there's a need to go back and complete prior relationships in order to enhance the possibility of success in your current ones. And what I thought about that was the dude that I attempted to be in a relationship in 2017. He was twice divorced. And from my interactions with him, I could tell he didn't learn from those divorces. And had we even gotten together, I would have been his third divorce. No doubt in my mind whatsoever. The nature and intensity of feelings caused by a loss relate to the individuality and uniqueness of the relationship. Some grievers will be angry and others won't. You may have reduced concentration. A preoccupation with the emotions of loss and the inability to concentrate seem to be universal responses to grief. There's a sense of numbness that may come. It may be your first reaction. It can last a different length of time for each person. It's often mislabeled as denial. Disrupted sleep patterns, not being able to sleep or sleeping too much, or both. Alternatively, change eating habits, eating too much, not being able to eat enough, or both. Alternately, roller coaster of emotional energy, going up and down and in and out of feelings. Do not allow anyone to create any time frames or stages for you. Grief does not have a time frame. And that's one sentence that I posted or in my chat in my group because I didn't feel like talking last week. I don't know if I'll talk today. There are no absolutes for grief. There is only one unalterable truth. All relationships are unique. But when my dog Naguse Trey Love died 17 years ago, there was someone that said to me, I can just get another dog. And their ignorance displayed in that kind of comment. That's like telling somebody who loses a child, oh, you can just have another child. That's not going to replace the loss. Me losing my sexual organs, my uterus and fallopian tubes and ovary, from what I'm being told, it can't be replaced, because I sure did go ask if I can get one of these women who don't know any better that take theirs out instead of going to deeper see why you're bleeding so much or whatnot, without being told all the health issues that arise because of not having your uterus anymore. Yeah. You never get over it. Okay? I just wanted to give you that.